So obviously, free agency started at about 6 p.m. today. But before free agency, we had some big news. Kevin Durant requested a trade out of the Nets, and therefore Kyrie Irving is now trying to force his way out of the Nets as well. He really wants to go to the Lakers, which as a Lakers fan, I'm happy about. But I really want to talk about Kevin Durant. His two teams on the wish list are Suns and the Miami Heat. I know, say as a Heat fan, so I'd like to hear his take on your possibility of Kevin Durant going to the Heat.
I don't want him.
Can I ask why?
The pieces we have to give up. That's the only reason.
What do you think you would have to give up?
I think to get Kevin Durant, we gotta throw in Bam and Ty. I don't want to do that at all.
Yeah, that's true. Plus bunch of picks.
Yep.
It'd be like not like to the effect of a LeBron James trade, but close to it.
I think Miami would be a good team with Kevin Durant and Jimmy Butler together. But the expense of adding Kevin Durant is all win right now. And
Right.
it'll leave us with zero future.
And you would also have like no bench either.
Because all the money would be wrapped up with Kevin Durant, with Jimmy Butler. It's Kyle Lowry.
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be hard for any team to honestly make a trade for him, but it's gonna happen, but it's just gonna take a buttload of assets to do so.
I would be fine giving up Kyle Lowry and Duncan Robinson.
Yeah, but the Nets aren't doing that.
No, that's not nearly enough. Like
No. But
everyone but Jimmy, Bam, and Ty, I would give up. Anyone else?
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen then.
No.
It makes sense because you guys don't really need him either because you were like one game away from a championship this year anyway.
What we need is like a secondary scorer.
Yeah.
And Kevin Durant's the best. I would say one of the best all time at doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we get worse off as a team bringing in him because it just makes our defense way more lackluster, and we can't bring in as many good role players.
Right. You'd be better off getting someone like Donovan Mitchell if he requests a trade.
And Bradley Beal. I hope Bradley Beal got his money.
Right, and he leaves.
And he requests a trade.
Because if he doesn't, then that's just crazy. Because he says he wants to win, but you stay with the Wizards if that happens.
But I understand that though. Like I think he can still want to win, but he couldn't walk away from all that money.
Yeah, but like if he wants to win, he's not staying with the Wizards because you're not winning there.
I think now that he got his bag, he might give it one season, try to request a trade.
Yeah.
But I don't see him staying the whole contract.
No, I don't either. I think the Wizards should have signed and trade him, to be honest.
Facts. Especially with Kevin Durant out there now.
Right. Half the league already called 30 minutes after he requested a trade, so.
Got to, though. It's Kevin Durant.
Literally. That's so true. I'm sure more calls are coming for Kyrie as well.
Yep.
But what do you have to say, Gio?
First off, I don't think Kevin Durant going to Miami is a good idea as well. Kevin Durant is a great scorer, right? And it's exactly what Miami needs. You need that second option, like Nick was saying. You need that partnership with Jimmy Butler where he needs offensive help. Defensively, they'll be fine, right? They got a great defensive team. Offensively, though, you need a second guy to go ahead and average 25 points a game along with Jimmy Butler if needed. And that's exactly what Kevin Durant can do. But like you guys said, you're going to have to give up a lot of depth for him. And I don't think if you get rid of Bam, that's getting rid of your centerpiece at defense. If you get rid of Tyler Hero, there goes your sixth man of the year. I think that would be a bad option for them to lose him. The only thing I would probably try to get rid of is possibly Duncan Robinson, possibly like a Kyle Lowry, even though I love him. Maybe Victor Oladipo or something like that, or like another big man on the bench, like another young.
You're at 7.
Yes, sir. That man right there. Try to get rid of him because he's young. He's big. He's got a bright future ahead of him. So those are the pieces I would try to get rid of. None of the guys that are the main pieces like Bam, or Tyler Hero or Jimmy Butler for that matter. Any of those guys. Kevin Durant should go to the Knicks because I think that's where he wanted to go before he went to Brooklyn. If he does end up in Phoenix, I have them coming out of the West. It doesn't matter if you have, although if you do get rid of Devin Booker, because I heard that was the one thing they wanted to get rid of. They wanted to have a 3-team deal with Miami Heat, with the Phoenix Suns. Get rid of Devin Booker, get rid of Bam Adebayo. I don't know what he would get in return, but that was the trade. Kevin Durant goes to the Suns for Devin Booker. Someone goes to Miami for Bam Adebayo, and Brooklyn gets both of them.
Yeah, I don't like that trade for either side. First of all, I'm not giving up Devin Booker for Kevin Durant. If I'm
Right.
getting Kevin Durant, he's playing with Devin Booker.
Exactly. It's going to be the big three: Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and CP3, if anything.
Right. I'm not like if we're on the phone, Chris Paul and Devin Booker are off limits. That's what I'm open up with.
That was just a trade rumor of like the best trade option they were saying on Bleacher Report.
Yeah, but
Someone said, I think it was Shams or Woj, one of those two said it.
I mean that's fair because it's Kevin Durant, but like I just wouldn't give up Devin Booker for Kevin Durant because the age difference alone
Right.
is crazy.
With that trade as well, I can only presume Miami's getting DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, that's true. You could be.
That is true. But
And
even then, I
don't-
wouldn't want to give him up for Bam, though.
no, I like Bam way more because Bam.
Right.
I'd say him and Ayton
He's just
are
a
about
better
the
fit,
same.
I would say, like for the Heat.
Way better. Offensively, they're about the same too. I would say, if not, Bam's more.
He's more of a shooter, I would say.
He spreads the court better.
Yeah.
But defensively, I have Bam so much better than DeAndre
Right.
Ayton. That's just complete loss.
And Bam is such a better passer than Ayton as well.
Facts. So I don't like it for Miami. I don't like it for Phoenix either because the only winner I see is Brooklyn.
Yeah, because they
Right.
get Devin Booker.
And
They get
Bam
D-Book.
Adebayo.
Bam.
Yeah,
and they
and
still
Bam.
got Ben Simmons.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I don't see that happening personally. I don't think it should happen. But what do you guys think are the best fits or for Kevin Durant and like for the teams what teams do you think are best suited to go after him to give up so much?
I was thinking about this earlier. I was thinking like I know Dame posted something about him and KD together,
Yeah,
but I don't see Portland having the pieces to do that.
I don't either.
Hold on.
I mean the Suns do have the pieces to do it without
Right.
giving up Devin Booker.
Right.
And so does Miami, but like
They have the depth. Miami has depth.
right.
I just don't think Miami should do it because the Miami culture. I don't think Kevin Durant, obviously, he is Kevin Durant, but all Miami, there are dogs on that team. They're hungry to win chips. They're hungry to do whatever is necessary to win that championship. I don't think Kevin Durant will do that defensively. Offensively, we know in the past he stepped up in the finals against the Cavaliers 2 times, hitting dagger shots to win both championships. So,
But we also saw Kevin Durant not play well in these playoffs, these past playoffs either. So
right. So is it the injury? Is he downgraded from what we've seen him in the past before his Achilles injury? That's the thing.
I mean, I'd stay away from it if I was Miami, but I feel like the best suited team, honestly, is Phoenix, given their depth.
For me as well, another great option is Memphis. Although I do not want to see that team broken up. They were so close to a championship. If health was on their side, I believe they would have won the championship this year. That's my opinion.
I think they're too young still, but that's just me.
They would have beat the Warriors, that's for sure.
I don't think they would have beat the Warriors.
I don't think they would have beat the Warriors when they were up. And the Warriors were again blowing fourth quarter leads.
No, I think the Warriors would have figured it out and still won in at least 7, I would say.
I'm not saying last year would have been Memphis's year, but I think future wise, you give it 2 or 3 years, I think they're going to be the team to beat.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, so that's my point. You shouldn't blow up that team because it's just so great working together right now.
Yeah, I mean the only realistic team I could see is the Suns. As much as I don't want to see it happen as a Lakers fan, but their depth is just so good that they could make it happen.
And don't forget about Boston. They're trying a lot right now to get Kevin Durant as well.
What trade packages do you guys see? So Gios, I'm gonna let you build a trade package from Boston's perspective.
Okay.
Jake, I want to see you with Phoenix. Like, what do you think Phoenix gives up for Kevin Durant?
I could see him giving up Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges. I mean Cameron Payne if they want him, given that Kyrie might not be there, and multiple first round picks.
Is Aiden involved in that as well?
If they want Ayton, since he doesn't want to come back, then yeah, why not?
Okay. Is Mikal signed already?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, I thought he had an option. I could see Mikal and DeAndre Ayton
Yeah.
and some picks for KD. I like that for Brooklyn, but I don't know if they're gonna see the same thing in that.
Right. I feel like they're gonna have to throw in some more players as well, like maybe Landry Shamet or Cam Johnson.
Yeah. Gio, what you think for Boston? You got it over there or not yet?
Yeah.
You think they'd have to give up Jaylen Brown, Gio?
I was about to say that. I think you're gonna have to get rid of Jaylen Brown. You're gonna have to get rid of Jason Tatum, one of the two. I would personally put in there Williams, Patrick or
Robert Williams.
Robert Williams, right? Because he has the most upside, I think. He's a great big man. He's gonna, I feel like he's gonna be a star in the league one day. I would possibly get rid of like a Grant Williams as well, because he's also young. But you're gonna have to get rid of a pick, right? Possibly 2 first-round picks. The Nets already have picks from that James Harden trade, don't forget. So
And they're going to get more from the Kyrie trade as well, most likely.
Exactly. So here's the thing. Are you willing to keep stacking picks, right? And see what the future holds? Or would you rather have the young stars like a Jaylen Brown, like Robert Williams, like Austin Reeves, possibly, like these young talents that we've seen, provide last year at least, and that can provide later in the future when you already have these picks stacked up from the James Harden trade.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Boston, I probably won't even go after Kevin Durant, given that we almost won a championship with the team we already have.
But they're already pursuing him. It was stated that they're heavily pursuing Kevin Durant.
But like, if it happens, I don't think it'd be a good move because they were 3 games away from winning a championship.
Right, exactly.
Or 2 games.
Right. And like you said about Memphis, they needed the experience. Right. These young teams needed the experience. They had the talent, no doubt about it. But the experience, now Boston has that experience. They know the road, they know the blueprint, what it takes to get to the finals. Now it's just achieving it next year or in the year following.
Right. And I feel like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are a better fit duo-wise than Kevin Durant and Jason Tatum would be.
I don't know how you're going to have a heavily, ball-on guy like Jason Tatum and Kevin Durant at the same time playing together when they're the exact player. If you look at their games, they are literally the exact player.
They both need the ball in their hands, and it just wouldn't work, I feel like.
They'll dribble into their shot, and they can pass a little bit. So
right.
I would disagree, though. I think Kevin Durant and Jason Tatum would fit better than Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
Or would you rather have Jaylen Brown and Kevin Durant or Jason Tatum and Kevin Durant? If you're the Celtics, which one do you think would work better?
I don't think I could force myself to give up Tatum if I'm the Celtics.
I don't think I could either, but if you see something and you think that would work better, would you do it?
I still think. Sorry, go ahead, Jay.
I was just going to say probably not, given Tatum's potential.
I would still take Jason Tatum as well over Jaylen Brown, just because you guys are saying they're both ball dominant, which is true. But at the same time, they both can also shoot very, very well.
Right.
So it's not like a situation where it's like Russell Westbrook and LeBron.
Exactly, right, yeah.
We're both ball dominant in the fact that they have to create their own shot by driving in or something.
Right.
Both of them can shoot, so it allows more spacing on the floor still without Russell Westbrook's defender just sitting in the paint.
That's agreed.
I think he froze.
Oh, so
Oh, you cut out for a minute. What'd you say after Russell Westbrook sitting in the paint?
Okay, I did cut out. All right,
Yeah.
I'm thinking they both can still kind of like guard. They both can sit behind the perimeter, which still allows for some spacing, rather than just the interior defense just clogging everything up for them.
I mean, that's true. And they're also, both of them are pretty good passers as well.
And even then, they could just trade off possessions, each of them doing like a little ISO and still having the other one to go if they don't have something going.
Right. That's true. I mean, it could work, but I just don't want to see the Celtics team blow up after almost winning a championship.
right,
I also agree with you on that. I don't want to see KD there
for sure.
because I think a healthy Time Lord,
Oh,
the Celtics would have won that, I believe.
I agree. He changed that series when he came back.
So
I mean, the Suns are the best fit, I feel like, because they can't win right now, and they got
Right.
beat in the second round after blowing a 2-0 lead.
The only thing is, right, for me, is what you would have to get rid of in order to get Kevin Durant. If we're saying players, I'm not doing it because you guys have a great team. You've been to the finals before. You guys can do it again. If you're getting rid of picks, right, then I would do it. Because if you can keep somewhat the same team and add on Kevin Durant like the Warriors did back in 2017, then I would do it. It's just I do not want to get rid of that depth because depth is what gets you through the playoffs into the finals.
Yeah, that's true. It's going to be hard for any team to construct a trade for him because the Nets are going to ask for a bargain, like for so much.
Right. So what did they get rid of for what did the Nets need in order to get rid of James Harden? They got Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, as well as a unprotected 2022 first round pick and a protected 2027 first round pick. So you got 2 first round picks in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, and Andre Drummond, just for hurt James Harden, right?
Yeah.
And when Kevin Durant's healthy, he's possibly arguably the best player in the world. So what are you going to get rid of for him?
Right. It's gonna be insane to see how much the respective team that he goes to has to give up for sure.
Right.
But I'll go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You talking to me or say?
Both of you.
Go ahead, say.
I think it's going to be very interesting to see how the trade goes. Because like usually with like a Donovan Mitchell type situation, teams aren't really going to give up as much as they should to get Donovan.
Right.
But with everyone wanting Kevin Durant, I feel like the Nets are still going to get a very, very good trade out of it.
Right.
Right.
And that's going to be wild to see.
It's not going to be like the DeJounte Murray Hawks trade where the Hawks had to give up Danilo Gallinari and like a couple picks.
Yeah, that was an insane trade.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah.
But going back to the Nets, right? They got Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett for, I believe, what was it, four first round picks?
I think so, something like that.
Something like that, right? From the Celtics?
Yeah.
Or for the Celtics, and the Celtics got 4 first round picks for those two.
It was around that, yeah.
Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving still want to play together.
Right.
That has not changed. Brian Windhorst claimed today that there's a possible trade rumor going around that those two can go to LA together. What would you have to get rid of in order to get those 2 superstars?
I think we'd have to give up Russ, Anthony Davis, and some bench players, plus a lot of picks.
I would have to agree. And for me, it's hard for me, right? Because you want that team. You want Anthony Davis on there. I want to see Russell Westbrook redeem himself there. And I want to see that depth. The thing is, it's Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant with LeBron James. Arguably back to back, right? Kevin Durant could be the best player in the world. LeBron James could be the best player in the world, arguably.
Right.
And then you've got a talent like Kyrie Irving on the same team.
That's
Very tough.
that's crazy. But honestly, realistically, I just want Kyrie Irving. That's it. I just want Kyrie, and Russ can get traded to the Nets because they're already blowing it up anyway. So I feel like Russ and a couple of bench players as well and some picks for Kyrie and maybe Seth Curry. I saw that could be a possibility.
If I'm LA, I'm throwing the whole house minus LeBron at
Right.
Brooklyn for those two.
Right.
Yeah, bro. That if Kevin Durant actually still wants to play with Kyrie, bro, yeah, take our team.
Like,
If Rob Pelinka can pull that off, it will eradicate all the things he's done in the past couple of years.
For sure.
For sure.
But realistically, I think we're just going to get Kyrie, which I'm fine with because him alone, I think, could make us championship contenders again. Him, Anthony Davis, a healthy Anthony Davis, of course, and LeBron James. That's a scary trio.
Right.
what if you have to trade AD for Kyrie? Do you still want that or no?
If we have to trade, you're saying we have to trade both Russ and Anthony Davis?
No, just AD.
No, you can keep Russ to trade him somewhere else.
Oh,
but
no,
Kyrie for AD.
No, we need Russ. We need Russ off the team first.
Do you think Brooklyn will do that though?
I mean, if they do it, they'll have one of the worst shooting backcourts in history of the NBA. But I think honestly they would do it right now because they're already blowing up their team anyway. So what do they have to lose?
Fair.
But if we were still talking with like Kevin Durant staying, no, they would not have done that.
What if they do a 3-team trade?
Like
Right.
what are the options?
Reed to LA, Russ somewhere else.
And
That would
KD
be
where?
To the Suns. I'm thinking the Suns.
Okay.
I'm thinking Agent wants out.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. He's already signed the max. Is that correct? He signed the
He
max.
he hasn't signed the max. They don't want to give him the max. That's why he wants out.
But didn't he sign it before the time deadline, like a
No.
couple days ago for him?
I think he'll sign one if it's a sign and trade, but I don't think he'll sign it.
He didn't
I
sign
don't
it.
think Phoenix will offer otherwise.
Yeah, that was the issue even before last year. They weren't giving him the max that he wanted, so he just played on his contract.
Okay. So, anyways, Ayton wants out. KD goes to the Suns for whatever, right?
Mhm.
Ayton goes someplace. Kyrie goes to the Lakers, and Russ goes someplace. It has to be a 4-team trade because I don't think the Nets want to have Ben Simmons, right? Like you said,
Yeah.
and Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing that I think the Nets will hold back on because, like I said, that'd be the worst shooting backcourt in the history of the NBA.
So there has to be a 4-team trade where all 4 teams are okay with it. Russ goes someplace, Ayton goes to the Nets, Kyrie goes to LA, and KD goes to the Suns.
Honestly, I think they're just going to trade Kyrie to us for Russ, a couple players, and some picks just to get what they can get for Kyrie and then flip Russ somewhere else.
That's a good option as well.
Does Kyrie have a no trade clause? Do you know?
No, he does not.
I don't think any player has them anymore. I think they got rid of that.
There's a few players I know that has them, I think.
Because I know LeBron doesn't have it anymore, and he's always had it.
Oh, yeah, maybe not.
So I know KD and Kyrie don't have it, so.
Yeah, maybe not. But either way, that's what I think is going to happen. They're going to trade Russ to the Nets. Kyrie comes to LA, and then the Nets will flip either Simmons or Harden, or Simmons or Russ, because they can't have those two both in the backcourt.
It's got to be Russ. If I'm Brooklyn, I'm keeping Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I agree.
He's too young.
And plus the way Russ played last year, I can't take that risk. But I mean, like Gio said, he might have a redemption season, but you can't take that risk either.
Right.
Especially if I feel like if Brooklyn does that trade, it's got to be full rebuild mode.
Yeah, the only reason I can see them keeping both of those two is because they're like, oh, whatever, we're going to lose anyway, so might as well keep both of you.
Yeah.
I have a no trade clause.
Oh, go ahead.
So it's still around. So
Mhm.
a 1 year bird's right is a restriction that applies if a free agent signs a 1 year contract, and he will have a bird's rights with his current team when he becomes a free agent. A player can still be traded but must consent to the deal. If he does, the bird's rights do not transfer to his new team. So I think if he signs a 1 year deal, right, and he consents to the trade and he does get traded, then the deal's off. He doesn't have a trades clause anymore. If that makes sense.
That's fair.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be crazy for the Nets to see what they do in the next couple of days or so.
For sure.
I'll take Rhea Miami if he wants to come to Miami.
No, Reese coming to LA. Leave it alone.
We'll give you a think about it. Think about it. All right, hear me out. Hear me out. Brooklyn needs a new culture there now that they're retooling. Who would be a better player to bring a new culture to your organization than Kyle Lowry, former NBA champion, a pit bull? My boy's a hustler, a dog. He brings championship mentality to a team. That's a
Yeah.
great way to restart a franchise.
That's true. I mean, it'd be. Go
But wait, there's more.
ahead.
What better way to just like have tools for any superstar who maybe want to come than Duncan Robinson, an off-brand Klay Thompson, someone who's going to be a spot-up shooter, can't really play defense, but it's like a Seth Curry. Seth Curry's super value. He can be a better Seth Curry with his three-pointer. He's a great tool to have if you're trying to retool your team. He's a great fit alongside Ben Simmons, who is a young piece, I should say. And then we'll give you Yurt 7 as well, with some picks. My boy Yurt 7, phenomenal rebounder. When he got starting minutes, my boy averaged about 14 rebounds a game. He can get it done in the paint. Those three pieces for Kyrie can reshape their whole team for the future. And they get a few picks. It's got to be a done deal.
Nah, I'm good. He's coming to LA.
My question to you is though, Nick.
Yeah.
Why did Dion Waiters get traded or leave Miami?
Dion?
Yes, Dion Waiters.
So the problem with Dion Waiters is when he came to Miami the first time around,
Right.
he was the guy taking the last second shots for us.
Right.
He changed he was Miami's guy for a little bit,
Okay.
He was the excitement in Miami. But then him and James Johnson just messed up. They both did some dumb stuff that they shouldn't have.
So they were a problem, were they not?
They were. We had to part ways with them.
Right.
Yeah, but you could also say Dion Waiters was a problem anywhere he went because he was.
Okay. But the thing is, they created a problem in Miami. Miami does not deal with problems.
Correct.
Oh, and you're
What is
saying
Kyrie Irving? Please let me know what he is.
Kyrie Irving is my favorite basketball player.
But is Kyrie Irving dedicated to the game to play every single night?
I'm saying, listen, right now, Kyrie's only been in situations where he can be his own person, his own personality.
Okay.
He can do whatever he wants, and no one can tell him different. Think about Brooklyn. It was him and KD. They were a package deal. Kyrie could do whatever he wanted. Otherwise, Brooklyn was going to have a situation like they have right now.
Right. So
everything's getting blown up.
He doesn't like people telling him what to do.
But is that because he's never had a coaching staff and an owner like Pat Riley who he can respect and he can get behind and fall in line while still being allowed to be himself during the interviews?
You're making a very fair point.
Here's the thing. I also wouldn't say Kyrie is a problem. I would just say he's a diva.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not saying Kyrie's a problem. I'm just saying he creates problematic situations in organizations.
I think Nick is right. Pat Riley would be able to hold him accountable. He wouldn't take that at all. And
Right,
the
but
same thing goes for
would
him
Kyrie
going.
get upset afterwards for being held accounted?
No, I don't think so. Because if he
Because
wants to win, then he has to be held accountable.
that is correct. And I don't think the Nets really could have done that. I don't think the Celtics, they had a great front office. They couldn't hold Kyrie accountable.
Yeah, but I think the best two teams that will hold him accountable is the Heat because of Pat Riley, and then
Right.
the Lakers because LeBron James is the
Yeah.
only one who can control Kyrie Irving.
For the most part, I agree with you. LeBron James is that guy where Kyrie will listen to him because LeBron knows what he's talking about. So does Pat Riley. And he did.
Sorry about that. Gio's just the cliffhanger guy on this podcast. But what were you saying before it happened, Gio?
So I was saying Nick said makes a fair point where Kyrie Irving will listen to the guys that he believes that know what they're talking about, like a LeBron James, like a Pat Riley. You did once say that he wanted to play for Popovich. You wouldn't mind playing for Greg Popovich. Why? Because he's a great coach and he knows what he's talking about, and he's proven over time that he does. So if Kyrie Irving does go anywhere, I would agree Miami could be a spot. I just don't think he's got that Miami mentality where winning is everything and he will do whatever it takes. Everyone on that team, I believe fully, has that mentality. I believe LeBron gained that mentality when he was in Miami, and that's why he's able to win championships elsewhere is because of what he learned in Miami. So,
Well, if you say that winning is all that matters, I mean, if he goes to the Lakers, that's all that matters there too. We got 17 of those things.
but it's the thing that they have the mentality that they each player, no matter who they are, will do whatever it takes, right? And I feel like in the Lakers organization, you have superstar upon superstar, right? Where they each have their own role. Where you had LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and everyone behind them. I feel like with Miami, you have everybody for everybody. It's not just Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, right? It is everybody working together collectively, like Memphis, like Miami, right? Like Cleveland Cavaliers now, right? Those teams work collectively in order to win. So,
yeah, that's fair.
With that as well, not only is it Pat Riley in that organization who Kyrie could respect, we also have Coach Spo, who is an extremely respected coach as well. I would say he's second best in the league right now behind Pop.
He's a top 5 coach of all time. So
top 5 all time.
Yes, sir.
But also, I feel like Kyrie has to respect Jimmy Butler's hustle enough to really fall in line with this Miami team. Like, Kyrie can be a diva all he wants. When it comes to playing basketball, no one's going to hold anyone accountable more than Jimmy Butler. And that's because Jimmy Butler literally put his heart and soul into the game trying to win championships. Kyrie can watch the Lakers Heat finals matchup where Jimmy was aghast.
Right.
And he can find respect in that. And he can really fall into the Miami Heat culture and truly invest himself into it.
That's fair. That's also very true.
And I believe I proved myself wrong by saying LeBron James learned winning culture through Miami, right? Where Kyrie Irving could do the same, right? LeBron James wasn't the same player when he was in Cleveland the first time, going into Miami, like Kyrie Irving now, who could go to Miami because Miami is just that place where you will learn everything you need to know in order to win the game of basketball. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't know where Kyrie will end up, but realistically, Miami could be a good choice.
But we all know he's going to LA, right?
He's not going to Miami.
Yeah,
he's going to LA.
Yeah, we all know that. Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't, I don't know what will happen.
I think the world will explode, because it's flat, Kyrie Irving.
Oh, yeah.
So.
But, yeah, speaking of the Spurs, obviously yesterday they traded DeJounte Murray for uh, Danilo Gallinari and I believe 3 first-round picks from the Hawks.
Right.
And the Hawks got 2 first-round picks back as well with DeJounte Murray. But that's a great trade for the Hawks. And I think the Spurs, obviously, as they stated, are now in rebuild mode. So they are not worried about winning. But for the Hawks, I think this is a great trade. But what do you guys think they're going to do with Trae Young? You think they're going to put him at shooting guard since they now have a pure point guard in DeJounte Murray?
So with that, I would hope offensively they allow Trae Young to play the 2, but also mix in at the point guard. But defensively, I want DeJounte playing. Well, DeJounte is just going to guard the best guard.
Yeah, he needs to because Trae Young can't play defense.
It's going to be easier to hide Trae Young in that
Yeah,
defense. Unlike
I agree.
Unlike Atlanta could do in Miami, where they were just
Right.
dissecting him. I feel like it'll be a lot easier to hide him, especially with the Hawks barely giving up anything really for DeJounte.
Right. They gave up Danilo Gallinari.
Yeah, hats off to the Hawks for that one. That's a great trade by them.
For real. Obviously, the Spurs didn't care since they're in rebuild mode, but I think they still should have asked for more back.
I also think it could be very problematic for the Spurs. Now that they've established that they are in full rebuild mode, I don't see anything keeping Pop out of retirement.
Well, he did say it was reported that he liked coaching that young team and that he is coming back for one more season, but I don't know about a season after that.
Yeah, I don't think it goes on after that, especially losing Lonnie too.
Right. And I don't think DeAndre Ayton goes there anymore, given that they're in rebuild mode. I don't see that happening anymore. I think he's Piston bound, or if he is in the Kevin Durant trade, maybe he goes to the Nets. But I don't see him going to the Spurs.
No. I don't even know what the Spurs are trying to build around anymore because DeJounte was still a young piece, and I feel like he was the most promising piece there.
Right. I mean, the only thing I could see is Keldon Johnson, maybe, but that's it.
Even then, I like DeJounte more. He'll give them
Yeah,
more offensively and defensively, I feel.
I did too. Like, I was shocked to hear that they were even listening to calls. I didn't expect them to trade him at all,
Yeah, no.
but they see something they want. I mean, they have 7 picks over the next 10 years, I believe. So we'll see what happens.
Yep. Gio, what you think?
Well, so for me, right, you just traded a first-time All-Star in DeJounte Murray, who's just gonna, get better from here on out. But I personally believe the Spurs won this trade. DeJounte Murray, Jock Landale, whatever. I'm sorry, mispronouncing his name, but it's Landale or something like that. The Spurs received Gallinari, 2023 first-round pick, 2025 first-round pick, 2026 pick swap. So really, I don't really think that matters too much depending on their seeding and how they're doing that year. 2027 first-round pick as well. So for me, they got 3 first-round picks, right? And it's via Charlotte from 2023 one is via Charlotte from New York, protected, right? So I believe that's going to be a great pick. And then you get 2 other picks, the 2025 first-round pick and the 2027 first-round pick. Along with
both those Atlantis?
Yes, that's correct.
I mean, I still think the Hawks won the trade just because they're going to be the ones who will win the most out of it.
Well, for now, I think the Spurs are, like you said, they're in rebuild mode. They've got 7 picks in the next 10 years.
Yeah, I don't see them being good in like 5 years, I would say.
I also don't. Sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
They're thinking the future and they're thinking dynasty. They're not thinking right now where they might win. They're thinking a guarantee win, hopefully in the future.
I don't think they could build a dynasty though with that many. Like even if they have that many picks, it's very rare to build a dynasty. I feel like through the draft.
Rare, but when you have all the picks in the world, I think you can do whatever you want. Really,
that's true.
But with that as well, do you see Atlanta dropping off in those later years? Because they're still a very young team, only getting better. So I don't see them.
But do you see Trae Young, DeJounte Murray staying with the Hawks in the next couple of years, all the way through
Yes.
to 2027, 2026?
Yes, I do.
I personally do. I think Clint will be replaced, but I think John Collins might leave. But I don't. I think no matter what, I think they're still going to be a playoff team at the very least by 2027. Like,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Trey, I never saw Trey leaving Atlanta at all because he loves it there. And now that he got DeJounte Murray, which he wanted, I think he's happy and he's settled. And DeJounte will be settled as well, I feel like.
We have to see what happens, right? Because, like you said, they did get a great point guard, but Trae Young is no slouch. He says firsthand that he loves passing more than he does shooting. Last year, he averaged 9.7 assists. The year prior, 9.4. 2019, 9.3. 2018, 8.1. And he's averaging 9.1 assists in his career right now. So it's not like he couldn't pass like DeJounte. DeJounte is a great passer, right? As we know, he's a great scorer inside. And defensively, how are you going to equate where Trae Young is a liability, right? And you already had a defensive player in Gallinari, I feel like. And you just got another guard in DeJounte Murray.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like it's going to be hard playing those two together because Trae is so ball dominant and DeJounte is just a straight up point guard.
I don't think Trey has to be ball dominant though, because he's more of a shooting guard, whether he likes it or not. He's more of a shooting guard. I feel like he's more of a spot up shooter, I would say.
I think it also helps significantly because in that Miami Heat series, it was Trae Young or nothing. Miami's like individually guarded Trae Young and let everyone else beat them, and they couldn't. With DeJounte now, like Miami Heat, for example, have to focus on both of them rather than just Trae, because it just allows for another scorer to open up the court rather than just singling out Trae Young.
Right. And I feel like that's why Trey wanted help, because he saw what happened in the Heat series.
Although I still think Miami clamping that up.
I mean, yeah, me too. But go ahead, Gio.
With the moves Atlanta's making, because I don't see it's a bad move. I don't think it's a bad move. I just think the Spurs ended up winning that trade personally. And Trae Young is a great passer in it as well, right? So I just don't think they needed him, but I think it's a great pickup. What they really need is another big, some more depth, right? Because, like you said, they relied on Trae Young so much. I saw that they're willing to trade Clint Capella in an Ayton trade. What would you think of either Clint and John Collins, because you think they both won out, for like a Clint Capella and something else? Or DeAndre Ayton, sorry, my bad.
I don't think I would give up both those guys just for DeAndre Ayton.
Well, for the trade scenario, would you want DeAndre Ayton on the Hawks, and do you think they could be in contention once they have those three players in DeJounte Murray, Trae Young, and Ayton?
Yeah, I think if they get DeAndre Ayton, that they would be in contention, but I don't think they'd have to give up both those guys to get DeAndre Ayton.
No, I think they'd have to get rid of one and possibly something else, but
Right.
they're going to need more than just Clint Capella, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be Clint Capella with a couple of picks. I feel like could do the job.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it could be as little as Clint in the first even.
Yeah.
Because the window for CP3's time is closing significantly every year.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel and Ayton already wants out, so the Suns lose leverage there.
Right.
Where they're not going to receive as much as they really want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, I think if the Hawks can get Ayton, that doesn't put them over the top, but it would definitely put them in contention for a top 3 seed in the East, I would say.
Right.
I think it sets them up for years to come as well.
For sure.
All three young players developing stuff.
Definitely. And they get to keep the depth on their bench as well.
Right. Then I would say Atlanta won all trade aspects because, like you said, they're all young pieces that can win in the future.
Right.
If they can somehow make that deal happen where they just give up Clint and like draft assets, I think they will be significantly better for
Right.
years to come.
For sure.
I agree. But obviously, free agency has begun at 6 p.m. tonight. There's been some big signings. We touched on Bradley Beal returning to the Wizards for 5 years, 251 million. Hopefully, he doesn't stay that long because I don't think he'll win anything there. Andre Drummond just signed a deal with the Bulls. Um, Obviously, Jokic got the biggest contract in NBA history, I believe. 5 years, 254 million contract extension. Devin Booker got a contract extension as well. I think 5 years, 214 million. So those are the three big ones that have happened. Outside of that, the the Blazers paid Anthony Simons 4 years, 100 million.
Congratulations to him.
Love that signing. Great one.
Personally, I do like the signing. They should have given him an extension, but I think he was a little overpaid personally after one good year. But
I think you gotta do it though, banking on potentially Dame leaving.
that's true. That's very true. I didn't think about that. Obviously, another boy of Sayas, Lugan Stort, got paid. He got 3 years,
Ooh.
87.5 million to stay with the Thunder.
Love that.
There's a couple other big ones. Bobby Portis did stay with the Bucks 4 years, 49 million. Black Panther Victor Oladipo stayed with the Heat on a 1 year deal again, 11 million this time. Malik
Dwayne
Monk,
Dedman comes back.
what'd you say?
Dwayne Dedman signed back.
Oh yeah, he did come back.
Signed though.
Yeah. Malik Monk agreed to 2 years, $19 million deal with the Kings. And then PJ Tucker did leave the Heat for the Sixers. It's not official, but it's getting finalized. But yeah, those are the really big ones that I would say. But there's there've been some small ones as well. You know, Joe Ingles to the Bucks as well. Damian Jones to the
That might be a
Lakers.
big one though.
It is a big sleeper.
Yeah, I
Jingles to the
mean,
Bucks.
if Ingles can stay healthy, I would say.
Facts.
Oh, actually, Lou Dort was 5 years, 87.5 million, not 3 years.
Hey, I like the longevity in OKC. That bag's only gonna come.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Sure.
and Lonnie Walker did come to the Lakers as well. I like that for the Lakers.
JTA.
Yeah, JTA did. Damian Jones, and then we got Troy Brown Jr. as well. So I like all four of those signings as a Lakers fan. Focus on defense, which I like because we need, and then as well as some shooting, so that's good as well. But what do you guys have to say about the big signings like Devin Booker and Nikola Jokic?
Okay, sorry, real quick. Another boy of mine, my boy Mo Bamba resigned as well.
Oh yeah, with Magic, that's right.
Yes, sir. He got
Kevin
signed to a
Knox.
2-year.
Kevin Knox also went to the Pistons on a 1 year deal, 2 year deal, I believe, something like that, 6 million.
Don't
Yeah,
Don't
2 years,
forget
6 mil.
Go ahead, Gio.
Jason Tate.
Oh, where'd he go?
Jason Tate to the Rockets.
Yeah, $22.1 million, 3 year deal. Congratulations to him as well.
Yeah. So, do you guys think Joe Ingles could be a big get for the Bucks?
I do. I think he could be massive.
Why do you say that? Shooting or defense?
Both.
I feel
I
like
think majority shoot.
he could. We know he can shoot, but I feel like the health is the big issue for me. I'm sleeping on it just because of his health. He can't stay healthy.
The only thing is though, like the Bucks haven't lost anyone yet, right?
No,
Bobby Portis is testing free agency.
No, Bobby Portis resigned with them. 4
He did
years, 49
resign?
million. Yeah.
Good.
So I don't see it hurting them at all. Like even before the signing, I feel like people were still having the Bucks as favorites.
Yeah,
So at the very least, it's going to be a bump to them
that's true.
if Jingles can stay healthy, and if he
Yeah.
can't, then there's still the Milwaukee Bucks,
That's
who were
very
supposed to
true.
run the East last year.
And I mean, if you think about it, what were they missing last year? It was a wing who could defend. And if Ingles can stay healthy, they have
Right.
that.
Mhm.
Yep. So I think it could be a massive signing. If he stays healthy, I think it's only uphill for them.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, those are really the big signings I would say so far. It's been quiet for a little bit now since it's dying down. But James Harden did opt out of his player option, but it's rumored, Rose reported that they're going to meet over the weekend to discuss his new deal. he's staying with the Sixers. He just wanted to help them get more roster flexibility, so he opted out of 47 million to sacrifice money for winning, which I do applaud James Harden for doing that.
I respect it, but I don't see them getting significantly better.
No, I don't either. I mean, they did get PJ Tucker, but like, I don't know what else could they get possibly that would help them win.
PJ is a great piece. We've talked about it previously. If you haven't watched, you can watch the other pod. But I like that signing a lot for them. And then if they can just sign another player like a PJ Tucker, who's not going to bank. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead again. What'd you say?
I like the PJ signing. I think they should sign another PJ like player.
Okay, yeah. But who would you say like is out there like him? I could say Dante DiVincenzo because he's like that tenacity.
Dante would be a decent one, but like I don't really know exactly what they need, like player wise, but just people who are willing to play their role and who are willing to do all the extra stuff rather than be like, I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, but like I don't know because like I don't know who would want to go to the Sixers. Like not bashing the Sixers, they're a great organization, but like I just don't see them as a destination that free agents look like. Like, oh, that'd be a great destination.
JaVale McGee, I believe.
Oh yeah, he did go to forgot that he went to the Mavericks. 3 years, 20 million.
Right. He signed with the Mavs, so he's off the table. I don't really see any other big names.
Yeah.
That can make that large of a difference to go from, for me, I think they're the third, fourth best team when fully healthy.
Yeah. I agree.
To be that top dog, right? Where Miami, the Bucks, and Boston is. So they're on a different level, those three teams.
Yeah, I don't really see them getting another player that could help them with that, but PJ Tucker might be enough to get them to maybe a top 3 seed, but I think that's a little bit of a stretch. I still see him being 4th or 5th.
So I think I'm going to stick with my take on the last podcast. PJ Tucker brings his teams to the conference finals, at least. I see them going to the conference finals and losing to Miami.
Yeah, I can't see the Sixers going to the conference finals as long as James Harden plays the way he did last year. I'd have to see a new James Harden.
He might play different. That's the thing. You never know what you're going to get with James Harden because the year prior, he played MVP caliber until he got hurt.
Yeah.
Last year, he played like, I don't know, like bottom. He played worse than I believe Carmelo Anthony did.
It was his, we'll just put it like this. It was his lowest career average of his entire career.
Right. And Carmelo Anthony played pretty bad on the Rockets and OKC, and I think in comparison, that's the equivalent because of how much Carmelo Anthony brought to the table back then and what he still brings to what James Harden still brings and what he was bringing to the table.
Right. Speaking of Melo, I mean, he's a free agent as well. I would love to see him back. I would love to see him back in LA, but I don't think it's going to happen if it hasn't by now. I think we're going to let him go, but I would love to see him back. But I mean, he could go to the Sixers. That could be a good piece.
I think you guys were waiting to see what else, right?
Yeah.
To see what you can pay him. That's the thing.
That's true.
I think he's flexible enough where he's like, I just want to play basketball, right now, and I want to win. So whatever he gets paid, I think he'll be fine with that. So I think you guys were just waiting till
maybe
else is finalized.
And maybe we already like talked to him about it too. And
right.
LeBron's on the team too, so obviously they talk
for sure.
But
I love Melo. I think he's going back to the Lakers. But I was thinking about this. What if Philly can somehow get KD? You trade Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey, Matisse Thybulle, and a few picks.
Yeah, but if you look at it from the Sixers standpoint, Harden and KD already had that experiment on the Nets, and it didn't go well. And I wouldn't say it ended well either. So that turmoil, do you want that?
But
I think they're still great friends.
I mean, Kevin Durant has talked bad about him, I would say.
I don't know though. I think if KD went to the Sixers though,
Right.
that
With
team
Yeah,
JoJo.
with
him,
Joel
him,
Embiid,
Embiid, and Harden. I mean, that'd be scary.
with PJ playing the four
Right.
too.
Right.
That would be scary for sure. And I feel like you could also hide Harden much better on defense then as well,
Yep.
For sure.
With Joel
and his bad shot selection as well, because like Harden wouldn't get the ball that much.
That would be crazy. That better not happen, bro.
I hope not. But that's also a possibility. I didn't think about that. That could be true. But I just don't see it happening because of the turmoil between KD and Harden, I would say.
Facts. I feel like if. Sorry, go ahead, yeah.
I was just gonna say, I think the turmoil was more between Kyrie and James Harden. The fact that James Harden wanted to win right then and there, and Kyrie Irving didn't have the belief or the willingness to play games at all costs and winning at all costs. And I think that's why James Harden wanted to get out of the Nets organization, because the Nets weren't holding him accountable, and he wanted to win right then and there. And I feel like that's why he left. Not turmoil between him and Kevin Durant, because I think Kevin Durant understood why he wanted to leave.
That's fair. But at the same time, I think I'm with Jake on this one. For the sole fact that KD did not name the Sixers in his top three,
Right.
or like his top trade destinations.
And I mean, you've seen it in press conferences after Harden was traded in the season. He didn't talk highly about him.
But is it the fact that he wants to be the main guy?
Harden,
Everyone believes that Jimmy Butler. Unfortunately, I believe Jimmy Butler is that main guy. Many people don't believe he's that main guy. Many people don't believe that the Suns have the main guy because it's CP3 and Devin Booker being co-partners on that ownership. Kevin Durant would be that main guy on both of those teams, where I feel like Joel Embiid is that main guy in Philly.
yeah, I mean, I don't think Harden would like it either because I think he wanted to get out of the net based on Kyrie and KD and him being in the shadow. He doesn't like being in the shadow. It's been proven.
But isn't he in the shadow in Philly with JoJo being the main?
I mean, he is, but it's not as much as it was when he played with Kevin Durant and Kyrie, I would say.
That's
I
true.
would say in Brooklyn, he was more of a three-piece. In Philly, he's the two guy, I would say.
Right. Because like you
Right.
saw when he plays bad, the Sixers have no shot. So he's not really in the shadows anymore.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, that would be scary. But I don't see it happening personally. But if it does, that would be crazy.
I really hope it doesn't. I don't see it happening, but that would be a scary team to go up against.
For sure. But
But yeah,
yeah.
Mo Bamba, one of my favorite centers to watch. He's only getting better.
Gio, you got anything else you want to touch on?
Just the fact that if LA doesn't get Kyrie, which it's looking like they will, right?
Yeah.
Or go to Miami. I think LA really needs to think deeply on what their game plan is because of how old LeBron James is getting. Anthony Davis, his injury, health, and history because of that. What is their long-term goal because of those situations and what they don't have? Because I don't think they have a team right now that could win a championship.
No, even with our signings today, if we keep Russ, as long as we have Russ on our team, there's no way we contend for a championship.
I
I'll put
think
it that
even
way.
if Russ plays well, I think you guys need the depth.
Right.
Where
I
you guys
agree.
don't have that depth right now.
No. So, I mean, long term, if we don't get Kyrie, I think LeBron James leaves, first of all. If we continue to lose, I don't see him staying.
Right.
And then, I mean, it's a possibility that we do trade Anthony Davis if he can't stay healthy this year as well.
True.
So
I
we'll
think
see.
long term, or like Lakers' future plans, I think they have to like determine it by LeBron.
Yeah.
As long as LeBron's on the roster, you got to go for a championship.
Right.
But as soon as LeBron leaves, I feel like you gotta just rebuild.
I mean, I wouldn't say rebuild. Like, if Anthony Davis stays healthy this year and LeBron still leaves, I would keep him, but I would get rid of Russ.
Right.
And then what would you look for with trading Russ? So would you look for young pieces or would you look for retooling, trying to find something?
Honestly, I think Anthony Davis couldn't get us to a championship, I would say, but I still think he could get us to a playoffs, maybe second round. So I would look for something that would help the roster to help win.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
But what do you think, Gio?
It all, like Nick said, it all depends on LeBron James. If he stays, obviously you need to win championships. The fact is, if you're the Lakers organization, do you think LeBron James can still produce, right? Enough to put you over that hump at year, I would say, what is he going to be in 2 years? 39 years old, 40 years old, something like that.
Yeah.
Will he be enough to be that main guy or the second main guy still? We don't know. Would you want to trade him? Right? That's the whole thing with LeBron James. Is he going to be that main guy, which he is right now, and you don't know what's going to happen in the future? But that's just it all revolves around LeBron James and if he leaves, if he stays, and what he's going to be like down the road.
I would say longevity is on LeBron's side because he hasn't slowed down yet. So I don't see him slowing down anytime soon. He's like Tom Brady of the NBA, I would say.
Right, but the thing is, unfortunately, injuries have been becoming a factor in the seasons. He's been getting injured more often throughout the seasons when he's been older.
That's true. If he can stay healthy, though, I don't see him slowing down anytime soon.
I agree.
With that as well, though, play devil's advocate. Say LeBron does fall off a cliff,
Right. Not
talent-wise,
okay.
which is never gonna happen. I feel like the Lakers are more of a business-oriented association.
Where they would trade?
No,
Oh,
I think they'll take the headline of LeBron James,
okay.
and use that for sales as long as possible.
Gotcha.
Even if he is like a Udonis Haslem, like skill level based, LeBron's name holds so much weight that they will continue to sell tickets, sell jerseys, and I think they'll hold on to that as long as they can. Because I think LA is more business than they are like basketball winning, if that makes sense.
I agree. I mean, either way, it equates to success because we do have 17 championships, but like I agree with you. We do like our money a lot more than other NBA teams, I would say.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Gio?
No, that was pretty good. Thank you for answering my question.
You're welcome. You have any hypotheticals for today?
Yeah, real quick. I saw something about Steph Curry being the best player in the NBA right now.
Okay, no. I'll answer that quickly. That's a no.
Not when there's a Giannis in the league.
I mean, I wouldn't even put him over LeBron yet, honestly.
I just thought it was interesting.
We're talking about like right now, right? Like
Yeah, right now. Like what's happening right now in the league.
I would put Steph over LeBron right now.
I think it's close, but I mean, I'm also biased, so I'm not going to put him over LeBron.
I think it's very close. I think it's like Steph, LeBron right now.
Okay,
Only because Steph's coming off a championship.
that's fair.
Right.
Honestly, yeah, I could see it. Either way, it's 1A and 1B, I would say.
I'd say one B and one C.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. But
But
I
with
think
Giannis,
Giannis, I would also put Kevin Durant over Steph still.
I don't think I could.
I could not do that, I don't think.
I think Steph's the clear cut two right now.
I don't know. Talent wise, I go off of talent. I think Kevin Durant's better than Steph personally.
But if KD had so much talent, why couldn't he beat the Celtics?
Right.
I mean, that's true.
That's the only thing. Like if they didn't play the same team, then I would have a debate. But
That's fair. I mean, I would say he's top 4. I would say Steph is.
that's fair.
I would have to agree. I don't have him at the best. I still have Giannis, even though he lost. I have Giannis
Yeah.
as the best player in the league. I would have to put Jokic in that consideration at number 2. Joel right now, like in the league, put him at number 3 possibly. Even though Kawhi hasn't played, I still think Kawhi Leonard is a top 7 player. LeBron James and, like you said, LeBron James and Steph Curry right now are 3A, 3B for me, or 4A, 4B, depending on who you put above him.
That's fair.
So,
Gio, you got a segment?
yeah. So I'm gonna have my segment be about 2 things actually. Real quick, I just wanted to say it's very interesting that USC, right, and UCLA are going to be leaving the Pac-12 and moving to the Big Ten in 2024. We are now seeing the transition over to the larger conferences, right? The Big Ten, ACC, and SEC. I think more teams are going to be moving to those conferences in the near future. But also, I wanted to shout out the Wimbledon right now. We're in the 3rd round going to be. And it's looking like a couple Americans are still in it, which is great. Right now, Tiafo is still in it. We also have John Isner, who's close to, I believe, tying the most aces in history. I think he's like 3 or 4 aces away from tying that record, which is great, and he'll become the best server of all time. Unfortunately, Serena Williams got knocked out in the 1st round, but her opponent, Tan, right? She has beaten the 32nd seed today and is moving into the 3rd round. So congratulations to her. And we still have a couple more Americans left in the tournament. So hopefully we see the Americans win the Wimbledon this year.
Go USA. That's all I have to say because
So
I don't really
USA
know.
got to go against Rafael Nadal and Djokovic. But if something can happen and anyone can do it, I think Tiafoe can do it.
I mean, I don't know much about tennis, so I'm going to say let's go USA. But in video games, there hasn't been much news. I've just been playing a lot of 2K. Speaking of 2K, I saw something on Twitter where someone posted like a Legend Edition of 2K23, where it was LeBron James and Michael Jordan. I think that would be cool if that were to happen. And then the Steph Curry would be the cover of 2K23 as well. I think that would also be cool. But outside of that, there hasn't been much video game news. And yeah.
Yeah, for music, I'm gonna shout out my boy Scory. He dropped a new song. I like it a lot. It's called No Names. It's a good song. You should give it a listen. Yeah.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one.
Thanks. Thanks for watching. You know, if you're really feeling it, you can drop a like. If you're feeling very generous, you can drop a comment. And as always, you can G up.
Hey, make sure you guys subscribe. It takes only 2 seconds. We'll see you on the next podcast. Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you.